6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The Met Department has released a warning for the sea areas around the island. The President said it is imperative to advocate for the adoption of modern technologies like artificial intelligence within the nation. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and IOC have revised their fuel prices with effect from midnight last night. The government to hold talks with striking university non-academic staff next Monday. Senior citizen allowance continues uninterrupted. Maldivian Foreign Minister to visit Sri Lanka next week. In news overseas, Biden unveils Israeli proposal to end Gaza war. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the local news. The Met Department has released a warning for sea areas around the island. The warning says that the sea areas extending from Kalpitia to Potthuville via Colombo, Galle and Hambantota will be rough to very rough with very strong gusty winds up to 60 km per hour. Naval and fishing communities are advised not to venture into the above areas until further notice and be vigilant in other sea areas around the island. The swell waves about 2.5 meters to 3 meters height may increase in the sea areas off the coast extending from Kalpitia to Potthuville via Colombo, Galle and Hambantota. There is a possibility that near shore areas off the coast extending from Kalpitia to Mathura via Colombo and Galle may experience surges due to swell waves. Naval and fishing communities are also requested to be attentive to future forecasts issued by the Department of Meteorology in this regard. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the imperative to promote modern technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, to attain future social and economic objectives within the country. He announced the commencement of this program, slated to initiate next year, aiming to proliferate AI across all sectors within a span of 5 years. The President underscored the pivotal role assigned to the university system in this initiative. These remarks were made during a discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat on Thursday afternoon, engaging university scholars on the integration of AI technology in Sri Lanka. President Wickremesinghe further stressed the urgency of transitioning from an import-dependent economy to an export-oriented one to safeguard the nation's economic stability. Highlighting the critical timelines between the year 2027 to 2040 for addressing foreign debt obligations, President Wickremesinghe emphasized the pivotal requirement of achieving a substantial transformation in the Sri Lankan economy by the year 2035 to meet this obligation. In pursuit of these economic goals, he reiterated his commitment to fostering the adoption of modern technologies such as AI within the country. During the meeting, a proposal developed by several university professors and scholars on the application of AI technology was presented to the President. The scholars noted that several universities have already undertaken numerous AI projects and briefed the President on the operation and objectives of these initiatives. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has revised its fuel prices with effect from midnight yesterday. Accordingly, the price of petrol octane 92 will be reduced by 13 rupees to 355 rupees per litre, while the auto diesel is to be reduced by 16 rupees to 317 rupees per litre. Kerosene has been reduced by 13 rupees to 202 rupees. Meanwhile, the prices of petrol of 95 octane and super diesel will remain unchanged according to Sipetco. Lanka Indian Oil Corporation too has decided to revise its fuel prices, mirroring the state-owned oil company's move. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. State Minister for Higher Education Dr. Surendra Raghavan announced plans to engage in discussions with the university non-academic staff unions currently on strike over various demands. He emphasized that the government, including President Ranil Wickremesinghe, is committed to finding the best possible solution. State Minister Raghavan was addressing a press briefing held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday under the theme of Collective Path to a Stable Country. The Welfare Benefits Board has clarified that reports on social media claiming the cessation of allowance for the elderly with the implementation of Aswesuma welfare scheme are false. Over 1.580 million has been allocated to district secretariats for this allowance in May 2024. Although payments were delayed due to technical issues, the board assures that the allowance for the elderly will be available from respective division secretariats after the second week of June under the normal system. Additionally, the June stipend will be paid within the same month. The board is also making arrangements to credit the allowances for the elderly directly to the relevant bank accounts through a secure payment system. This allowance is available to all individuals over the age of 70 in families currently receiving a pension. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The Met Department has issued a warning for the sea areas around the island. The President said it is imperative to advocate for the adoption of modern technologies like artificial intelligence within the nation. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and IOC have revised their fuel prices with effect from midnight yesterday. The government to hold talks with striking university non-academic staff next Monday. Senior citizens' allowance continues uninterrupted. The Maldivian Foreign Minister to visit Sri Lanka next week. And that was the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
The Maldives Foreign Affairs Minister Musa Zamir will pay an official visit to Sri Lanka from June 3rd to the 6th. He will meet President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The Foreign Minister and his delegation will also have official bilateral discussions with Foreign Minister Ali Sabri during their visit. The Maldives Foreign Minister will be accompanied by senior Foreign Ministry officials. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
And we watched like this morning, dengue cases are on the rise again in Sri Lanka, particularly in the Colombo, Gampaha, Ratnapura, Nuwara Kaluthara, Kandy, Galle, Kurunegala and Kagala districts. The National Dengue Control Unit attributes this increase to the recent rains. Anuja Dheerasinghe, a community medical specialist, advises people to maintain clean surroundings to prevent mosquito breeding. As of now, there have been 24,323 reported dengue cases in Sri Lanka this year. The Colombo district has reported the highest number of cases. 9 deaths have also been attributed to dengue so far. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines of the world news. Biden unveils Israeli proposal to end Gaza war. ANC looks set to share power after historic election loss. Heat kills at least 15 in India as temperatures near 50 degrees Celsius. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the world news. U.S. President Joe Biden has urged Hamas to accept a new Israeli proposal to end conflict in Gaza, saying that it is time for this war to end. The three-part proposal would begin in 6-week ceasefire in which Israel Defense Forces would withdraw from the populated areas of Gaza. There would also be a surge of humanitarian aid as well as an exchange of some hostages for Palestinian prisoners. The deal would eventually lead to a permanent cessation of hostilities and a major reconstruction plan for Gaza. Hamas said it views the proposal positively. Speaking at the White House on Friday, Mr. Biden said that the first phase of the proposed plan would include a full and complete ceasefire, the withdrawal of IDF forces from populated areas, and the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners. With most of the results now in from South Africa's election, the long-ruling African National Congress will have to contend with the sharing of power after historic loss of its parliamentary majority. Counting in over 91.62% of voting districts is completed, and ANC's share of the vote currently stands at 40.98%. Trailing behind are the Democratic Alliance on 21.65%, the MK Party led by former President Jacob Zuma on 13.81%, and the EFF with 9.49%. The final results are expected over the weekend. The ANC has always polled over 50% since the country's first democratic elections in the year 1994, which saw Nelson Mandela become president. Support for ANC has been dropping significantly due to anger over high levels of corruption, unemployment and crime. Several people have died due to heat-related ailments over the past 24 hours as temperatures continue to soar in northern and central India. 10 fatalities were recorded at the government hospital in Odisha's region on Thursday, authorities told Reuters news agency. Heat stroke-related deaths have also been reported from the states of Bihar, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and National Capital Delhi. The soaring heat comes as India is holding its general election, the results of which will be declared on 4th of June. And that was world news.
Moving on with sports news.
And in sports news, Scotland moved up of their group after overcoming Israel in women's Euro 2025 qualifier that was played behind closed doors and delayed by protesters in Hampden Park. The Scottish FA decided not to allow spectators into the National Stadium because of security reasons. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside the stadium before the game over. Israel's military operations in Gaza, while an individual breached security and chained himself to the goalpost, which delayed the kickoff by 30 minutes. When the game got underway, Scotland were dominant in one of their finest first-half performances under manager Pedro Martinez-Loza, which has been linked to the vacancy at Lyon. And that was the sports news. And now we move on to development news. Education Minister Dr. Susi Premajan said that the priority should be given to extracurricular activities in primary education rather than conducting endless examinations. He said that children in primary grades should be more engaged in extracurricular and co-curricular activities rather than academic activities. The minister said that by engaging in extracurricular activities like sports, a balanced personality can be built and it helps to produce a healthy group of children. He also stated here that the future, the number of examinations conducted in the primary grades will be reduced and attention will be paid to increasing the study activities related to practical activities in the classrooms. He said this while being the chief guest at the awards ceremony of the Under-15 and Under-17 cricket tournament organised by the Sri Lanka School Cricket Association at Nelumpukura Theatre.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, a $60 million collection of sports memorabilia, rare trainers and luxury cars owned by a Canadian entrepreneur will be put up for auction at RN Sotheby's on Saturday. Miles Nadal's items for sale include a racing suit signed by former Formula One ace Michael Schumacher and 5 classic red Ferraris with a collective of $20.25 million. Also for the sale of rare pair of Nike's moon shoe by that Mr. Nadal bought by a record-breaking $437,500 in 2019. They are part of the businessman's luxury collections that was previously on display at a private museum in Toronto. That is the business news. Economic news follows.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, LLC Finance PLC has reported exceptional performance during recording a 21.5 billion rupees profits in the fiscal year 2023-24 with a 39% year-on-year growth, representing an ROE of 20%. This outstanding performance underscores the company's strategic excellence and robust market position achieved through a series of strategic consolidations and a steadfast commitment to cost efficiency, digital transformation and customer centricity. As at the end of the fiscal year, the company reported a portfolio of 250 billion rupees and a deposit base of 206 billion rupees, along with a capital base of 122 billion rupees, the largest in the NBFI sector. That was economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Weather report.
And finally, the weather report: showers or thunder showers will occur several times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and southern provinces. Several spells of showers may occur in the northwestern province. Heavy showers about 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Gaul, Mathura and Nuwara Eliya districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva, north central and eastern provinces and in the Mullaitivu district in the evening or night. And before we conclude this bulletin, let's get back to the headlines once again. The Met Department has released a warning for the sea areas around the island. The President said that it is imperative to advocate for the adoption of modern technologies like artificial intelligence within the nation. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and IOC have revised their fuel prices with effect from midnight yesterday. The government to hold talks with striking university non-academic staff next Monday. Senior citizens' allowance continues uninterrupted. The Maldivian foreign minister to visit Sri Lanka next week. And in news overseas, Biden unveils Israeli proposal to end Gaza war. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. Now it's back to your Saturday morning host, my good friend Sonal, on the other side of the glass panel to brighten up your day.